Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
We begin our 5 o'clock news tonight with the weather. All eyes on Exact Track 4D radar. That's because a flood watch is in effect. And we've got more rain in the area as we enter the height of the evening commute.
Let's take a live look outside right now from our Metro Airport sky cam. The rain has been hit and miss for most of the day today.
But that flood watch is in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Ty Steele.
I'm Kimberly Gill. We want to start things off with forewarned meteorologist Kim Adams. Kim, what are you seeing out there right now?
Well, right now we just have a couple pockets of rain, nothing really heavy. We've had a few showers in Monroe County. The reason why that's concerning is that's where they had the most rain this morning, up to about 3 to even 4 inches in some isolated areas. What's also happening this afternoon, we're starting to see a little sunshine peeking through the clouds from time to time. That will destabilize the atmosphere and possibly create a few more of these pop-up showers. In fact, just within the last about 15-20 minutes, I've noticed this cell back here. It's still to the west of Howell, just around White Oak. But if you're in Howell or Brighton, just know that you might get some of this rain. It's heavy rain, not thunder and lightning, though. I do have the lightning tracker on, and you can see total strikes in the last 5 minutes is at 0. So not too concerned about lightning. Doesn't mean that there won't be a rumble of thunder here and there, but that's not our overall concern. The concern is just some pockets of heavy rain. And even in the last couple of minutes, I want to go real quick just on one little area here that just now popped up. That is over Carlton, Flat Rock, and South Rockwood. So we'll talk more about what we're expecting over the next 3 hours, plus a look at what it means for your morning commute tomorrow, hopefully a little earlier than it was today, a little better.
All right, Kim, thanks. Tonight, we're getting our first look at the man accused of stabbing and killing his own estranged wife at a Macomb County gas station.
25-year-old Sidney Davis Jr. was formally charged today with 1 count of first-degree premeditated murder. Let's get out to our Noelle Friel. She's live tonight. Noelle, we're learning a lot more about the circumstances surrounding this.
Yeah, that's right. We first reported on this Sunday evening when that stabbing happened. The Macomb County Prosecutor's Office identified the victim as Fatme Davis, but her family says she went by Stella. They say this all happened during what was supposed to be a custody exchange of their 1-year-old child.
She was an amazing mother, and she loved her son more than anything in this world, and she made sure that everybody knows that.
The brother of Stella Davis emotional after her estranged husband appeared in court, charged with her murder. Police say 25-year-old Sidney Davis beat and stabbed her to death inside this Meyer gas station in Shelby Township after meeting up with her to exchange custody of their 1-year-old son.
She just thought that he wanted to see his son, and her loving her son very much, she did not want to keep him away from the father. She always thought about her son over herself.
Saif Mahmoud says his sister had separated from Davis, but they weren't yet legally divorced. He says she had gone to the police to report him for abuse in the past.
She's been to the police station many times, complaining about abuse and other things of that sort, and it was not taken seriously.
I think that there is a high risk to the public, Your Honor, considering the fact that this occurred during the day in a public place.
In court, Davis was denied bond by the judge. Mahmoud believes his sister's death was a preventable tragedy and is now focused on protecting her son.
Everybody loves her son. He is such a beautiful little boy, and my nephew will grow up to remember how beautiful and how much his mother loved him.
And Mahmoud says that their son is now in CPS custody and the family is working to place them with a relative. Davis's next court appearance is scheduled for October 7th. Live in Shelby Township, Noelle Friel, Local 4.
All right, Noelle, thank you.
Now to some breaking news that we're following coming out of Southfield. Police are searching for 15-year-old Christopher Young.
Police say he is a teen in a mental health crisis, and he's armed with a knife. He was last seen near 9 Mile and Berg wearing gray sweatpants, no shirt, no shoes. Officers say he cut off a tether and told family he wanted to kill himself. If you see him, do not approach him and call Southfield police right away.
Now to a serious crash in Bloomfield Township may have been caused by a medical emergency, and it shut down Telegraph Road near Long Lake Road for hours earlier today. Police say officers saw a maroon Ford Explorer driving erratically, and they tried to pull it over, but they couldn't. The driver then hit several cars before crashing into the back of a big box truck. The driver is a 70-year-old man from Detroit. Anyone who saw the crash is being asked to call Bloomfield Township Police.
New test results found bacteria that can cause Legionnaire's disease inside General Motors engineering building in Warren.
So the coal building has been closed since September 11th after all this, after 2 workers came down with the disease. Both have since recovered and no new cases have popped up. Legionnaire's is a serious bacterial lung infection and it's spread through contaminated water systems in buildings. According to reports, the building will remain closed while crews are cleaning it up. A reopening date has not yet been set.
A U-Haul crashed this morning into the front of a cell phone store, and police say it was not an accident. They believe it was an attempted smash and grab robbery. Happened about 5 a.m. at the T-Mobile store on 7 Mile and Southfield in Detroit. You can see it left a big hole there in the front of the building. Police say it appears nothing was taken, but the incident remains under investigation.
All right, let's go to Dallas, where 2 detainees have been killed and another has been injured in a shooting at an ICE facility.
Homeland Security says the shooter fired at the facility this morning from a nearby roof. Jay Gray is tracking the latest developments from Dallas.
A spray of early morning gunfire near downtown Dallas.
Checking the cameras and have seen at least 3 people shot. Multiple people shot.
Law enforcement sources identifying the shooter as 29-year-old Joshua John, seen in this 2016 booking photo from a felony marijuana conviction. His target, an ICE field office where detainees were boarding a bus when the shots were fired.
Comenzaron como 20 disparos seguidos.
This witness says she heard about 20 shots, diving beneath her car with her 9-year-old son, hiding until police rushed her inside the facility. The Department of Homeland Security saying the gunman shot indiscriminately at the building.
We had 4 individuals that were shot, 2 of them deceased, including the shooter. The DPD was able to locate the shooter, who was deceased.
Authorities say they found Jean's body with a rifle next to it on a rooftop near the building. Police saying he turned the weapon on himself.
Early evidence that we've seen from rounds that were found near the suspected shooter contain messages that are anti-ICE in nature.
No law enforcement officers were wounded. This is the 3rd shooting at an ICE facility in Texas this year. While the motive behind this shooting is not yet known, Texas Senator Ted Cruz says the violence has to stop.
Violence is wrong. Politically motivated violence is wrong. We need to learn to work together without demonizing each other.
The suspect's brother tells NBC News they grew up in Texas and John knew how to fire a rifle, but didn't think his brother was interested in politics. Jay Gray, Local 4.
Also today, a man was shot by security officers after he opened fire on the entrance to Nellis Air Force Base in Las Vegas. The shooter was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
Time continues to tick. As it stands right now, we are less than a week away from a possible shutdown of the Michigan state government. Lawmakers say they're still hopeful a deal can be reached before the October 1st deadline. Will Jones has a closer look at where negotiations stand right now.
Cadillac Place in New Center is home to many state workers, some who could be impacted by a government shutdown. I want to walk you through how we got to this point. Usually the state legislature approves a budget by July 1st, but here we are just 1 week away from a possible government shutdown in Michigan. Here's why that matters. October 1st is the start of a new fiscal year, and without a budget, state agencies won't have the money to keep running. I spoke with House Speaker Matt Hall and House Minority Leader Ranjiv Puri about the latest on budget talks. Let's start first with Hall.
I would say the biggest sticking point is the Senate Democrats are trying to protect waste, fraud, and abuse in the state budget.
There's critical programs in our budgets. Like I said, just making sure that our most vulnerable Michiganders who rely on our schools here and our healthcare system, and making sure that those programs are in place. And where we can find government efficiencies, we're willing to have those conversations.
Let's go back to 2009. That's the last time Michigan faced a government shutdown. It only lasted for a couple of hours and didn't have any immediate impact.
Well, I can tell you that legislative Democrats are working around the clock to do whatever we can to avoid a shutdown.
I'm doing everything I can with Governor Whitmer to avoid us being in a shutdown.
All right, Will, with the legislature divided here, are Democrats and Republicans at any closeness to a compromise to finally pass this budget?
Ty, Republicans say they want to cut spending pointing to waste, fraud, and abuse. Democrats say they're open to making sure that the government is running the most efficiently as possible. But Democrats say they want to protect programs like free school lunches, and Republicans say they're open to setting aside money in the budget for that.
And Will, last week you mentioned that the state budget office is working on a shutdown contingency plan if worst case scenario the government does shut down. Did they share any details about what that plan looks like?
Well, Ty, last week, when I reached out to them, I asked about their government shutdown plan, and they said it was too early to release any details about that shutdown plan. So I reached out again today to ask them about their plan, and they didn't mention their plan at all, but they did say that they remain optimistic that a budget deal will get done, Ty.
All right, a lot of work still to be done in those 6 short days. Thanks for staying on top of it, Will. We appreciate it. The stalemate isn't just in Lansing.
Live pictures of the White House. A federal government shutdown is looming there as well.